The world of coin collecting is full of fascinating stories, and today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing coins in American history, the 1967 quarter dollar. Now, this may seem like just another coin from the past, but when you take a deeper look, you'll see it holds a hidden value that might surprise you. With its historical significance, the design, and the potential for incredible value, the 1967 quarter is a coin that's caught the attention of collectors and investors alike. First, let's take a moment to appreciate the 1967 quarter dollar's place in American history. The 1960s were a time of great change and cultural upheaval in the United States. From the civil rights movement to the space race, this was a decade marked by significant events that shaped the nation's future. And the 1967 quarter captures a moment in time when the country was evolving. It was minted in the midst of one of the most turbulent decades, yet it carries a timeless design, the iconic portrait of George Washington on the obverse and a majestic eagle on the reverse. But while the 1967 quarter holds historical weight, it's the rarity and condition of this coin that make it truly valuable. Now, most people might assume that quarters from the 1960s are fairly common. After all, millions were minted each year, so it's easy to think of these coins as nothing more than just pocket change. However, when it comes to coin collecting, rarity and condition are everything, and that's where the 1967 quarter stands out. Most quarters minted in 1967 were intended for regular circulation. They were used for everyday transactions and spent time in people's pockets, in vending machines, and in cash registers. As a result, many of these coins were subject to wear and tear, leaving them in less than ideal condition. But if you're lucky enough to come across a 1967 quarter that has been carefully preserved, kept out of circulation, or is in near-mint condition, you could be holding a coin worth much more than just 25 cents. The key to understanding the value of the 1967 quarter lies in its grade. Coin collectors use a system called grading to determine the condition of a coin, which significantly impacts its value. A coin graded as MS65 or higher is considered to be in excellent condition, with no significant scratches or discoloration. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. An uncirculated coin from 1967, with its sharp details, original luster, and no visible signs of wear, could easily be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But wait, there's more. While the majority of 1967 quarters are made from the standard copper-nickel composition, what really makes this coin interesting is the potential for rare variations and minting errors. Coin errors, like double dies or off-center strikes, are highly coveted by collectors. These errors occur when something goes wrong during the minting process, creating a coin that's not quite like any other. A 1967 quarter with a minting error could be worth far more than a typical example of the same year. One example of a valuable 1967 quarter is one with an off-center strike. In some cases, the coin is struck improperly, and the design appears shifted, leaving part of the coin's edge blank. This type of error is relatively rare, and it can make the coin much more desirable to collectors. If you happen to find a 1967 quarter with a minting error like this, you might just have a rare gem on your hands. Another factor that can boost the value of the 1967 quarter is its mint mark. The 1967 quarter was minted in two locations, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. While both types of quarters are common, there's a subtle difference in value between the two depending on their availability and condition. In some cases, quarters minted at the Denver Mint may be slightly rarer than their Philadelphia counterparts, depending on the specific year and the number of coins produced. Now, we know what you're thinking, this is all interesting, but what is the actual value of a 1967 quarter? After all, most people might expect this coin to be worth just a few dollars, or even a couple hundred at most. But when it comes to rare and well-preserved examples of the 1967 quarter, the market for these coins can be incredibly lucrative. Coins that are in excellent condition, particularly those with rare minting errors, can fetch impressive prices at auctions. A 1967 quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition with no wear and tear could easily be worth thousands of dollars. And for those incredibly rare examples, like coins with significant minting errors or unique features, the value can go even higher. In fact, there have been documented sales of 1967 quarters that have sold for as much as $91,000. That's right, $91,000 for a coin that originally had a face value of just 25 cents. It's truly remarkable how a seemingly ordinary coin can hold such extraordinary value. But that's the magic of coin collecting. It's about finding those rare, high-quality pieces that have been carefully preserved over time. So, how can you tell if your 1967 quarter is worth a fortune? Start by inspecting the coin closely. Look for signs of wear, discoloration, or scratches. If the coin is in exceptional condition, with all the details sharp and the original luster intact, it could be worth a considerable amount. Don't forget to check for minting errors, as these can significantly increase the value of the coin. If you suspect you have a rare 1967 quarter, it's always a good idea to have it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service. They can help you determine its exact value and whether it's worth selling. In conclusion, the 1967 quarter dollar is a perfect example of how a coin, with a bit of history and a touch of rarity, can be worth far more than its face value. Whether it's in near-perfect condition, has a unique minting error, or has just been kept in pristine condition for decades, this coin has the potential to be worth tens of thousands of dollars. So, the next time you come across a 1967 quarter in your collection or in your pocket change, take a closer look. It might just be worth $91,000. You never know, you could be holding a hidden treasure. Top 2. The 1982 quarter dollar is one such coin. At first glance, it might seem like just another piece of everyday currency, but when you dig deeper into its history, rarity, and potential for unique characteristics, you'll discover that it holds much more value than meets the eye. So, let's take a closer look at the United States quarter dollar from 1982 and explore what makes this particular coin worth far more than its face value of just 25 cents. The 1982 quarter dollar is part of the larger Washington quarter series, which has been in circulation since 1932. The coin features the iconic profile of George Washington on the obverse, with his likeness first introduced on the quarter by John Flanagan. The reverse design, showing an eagle, has been the standard for the quarter for many years as well. While this may seem like a typical design to most, what's important about the 1982 version of the quarter is the context in which it was produced, as well as its condition and the rarity of certain examples. First, let's take a moment to talk about the context behind the 1982 quarter. The early 1980s were an era of change for the United States. With economic shifts, political events, and cultural movements, the country was in the midst of significant transformation. In terms of coin production, 1982 marked a pivotal year because it was right around the time the U.S. Mint was making changes in terms of minting methods and techniques. The introduction of new coin handling machinery meant that the quality of certain coins was affected, and the 1982 quarter dollar is a perfect example of this. While the Mint's production numbers for the 1982 quarter were relatively high, it's important to remember that, like most modern coins, many of these quarters were put into circulation and saw their fair share of wear and tear. Coins that have been in circulation for years are typically not in the best condition. They may be scratched, tarnished, or worn from constant use. However, there's a big difference in value between a quarter that has been heavily circulated and one that's been carefully preserved or remains in mint condition. This is where things get interesting for the 1982 quarter dollar, as well-preserved examples can command far more than you would expect. The first and most important factor to consider when assessing the value of a 1982 quarter dollar is its condition. Coin grading is a crucial part of the numismatic world, and it can make all the difference in the value of a coin. A coin's grade is determined based on factors like its sharpness of details, its luster, and the absence of damage. Coins that are graded as uncirculated or mint state are far more valuable than those that have been worn down by years of use. The highest grades, such as MS-65 or MS-70, are particularly valuable and can command premium prices on the market. One of the main reasons the 1982 quarter is highly sought after by collectors is due to the quality of certain examples. If you happen to find an uncirculated 1982 quarter, with no visible scratches or signs of wear, it could easily be worth much more than its face value of 25 cents. The better the condition, the higher the value. In fact, some uncirculated 1982 quarters have been sold for several $100s at auction. Depending on their grade, however, there's even more to the story. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is the potential for rare minting errors, and the 1982 quarter is no exception. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, causing the coin to deviate from the intended design or appearance. These errors can range from simple mistakes like double strikes to more unique and dramatic errors like off-center strikes or die cracks. Coins with minting errors are highly coveted by collectors because of their rarity. When it comes to the 1982 quarter, any coin that has a noticeable error could be worth a significant amount of money. For example, if you come across a 1982 quarter that has been struck off-center or has a double die on the obverse, these are signs of a minting error, and collectors will pay top dollar for these coins. Even a minor error can make a coin incredibly valuable, depending on the nature of the mistake and how it affects the coin's design. Another factor that can affect the value of a 1982 quarter is the mint mark. Like many other coins, the 1982 quarter was minted at different U.S. mint facilities, and the mint mark indicates where it was struck. The D mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, while coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint do not have a mint mark. The number of coins produced at each mint can vary, which means certain examples might be rarer than others. Coins from the Denver Mint, for example, may be slightly more valuable in certain circumstances due to their scarcity. Now, let's talk about the real reason why the 1982 quarter dollar is worth so much. While the vast majority of these coins may not fetch more than a few dollars, there are examples out there that have sold for incredibly high prices. Coins that have been well preserved, that are uncirculated, and that might have minting errors can fetch astronomical amounts in the right circumstances. Collectors and investors alike are always on the lookout for those rare and special coins that hold true value, and the 1982 quarter has been known to fit that bill. In fact, there have been documented cases where certain 1982 quarters have been sold for as much as $73,000. That's right, $73,000. This is the type of unexpected surprise that coin collectors dream of, finding a quarter worth tens of thousands of dollars. While these types of sales are rare, they are certainly not unheard of. The key is finding the right coin in the right condition, and sometimes, luck plays a significant role. So, what should you do if you think you might have a valuable 1982 quarter? First, examine the coin carefully. Check for signs of wear, damage, or wear and tear. If the coin looks exceptionally well preserved, it might be worth getting it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service. If your coin has a noticeable minting error, it's definitely worth having it evaluated to see if it could be worth more. Professional graders will be able to provide you with an accurate assessment of the coin's condition and value. In conclusion, the 1982 quarter dollar is much more than just a piece of currency. Thanks to its historical context, potential for minting errors, and the opportunity to find high-quality examples, this coin is a treasure in the world of numismatics. So, the next time you find a 1982 quarter in your collection, don't just brush it off as pocket change. Take a closer look, it might just be worth $73,000.